Hello there, my name's Serena, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the new moon, the up and coming new moon in Virgo. You may have seen me before. I've done a couple of videos with Donna, and we will do some more videos again together, but for now we're going to do a few on our own to talk about our own particular specialities, and then we'll come back together again, which is rather fun. But if you haven't watched those, just to say, my name's Serena Laidlaw, and I live in the UK, down on the south coast, on the beach actually, which is rather lovely. And I'm a spiritual life coach, which is nothing to do with religion. It's about, I suppose in a nutshell, helping you to find your quintessential self. And then I'm also an astrologer and a certified card reader and Reiki master. So I guess put all that in a pot. I suppose I'd call myself a spiritual teacher. Back to the new moon. It falls about 1:51 a.m. Early morning in the UK on the 7th of September. If you live further over on the globe, further eastwards, you'll probably experience the new moon later on tomorrow, on the 6th. And it falls at 14 degrees Virgo. It's quite a passion to me, really, talking about astrology, because the more people that we can get on board, the better. Because I feel it really does enhance your life to know a bit about it. I'm not sort of saying everybody's got to, do loads of exams and become a professional astrologer. Far from it. If you want to do that, that would be fabulous, of course. But it's such a helpful tool to navigate life with, and know how to handle more and deal with your friends and your family and all the sort of situations that life throws up at you. And my greatest wish is that astrology becomes a way of being, a way of life. I think, and it's nothing to do with woo-woo or anything like that. It's about nature, human nature, and our own self-empowerment. Indeed, it's also been written and predicted that the more we move into the Aquarian age, not so far from now, all peoples will learn this fascinating subject. After all, as Plato said, know thyself. And I think also Buddha said, the life unexamined is no life at all. So it is a bit of a passion of mine, and that's what I sort of want to try and encourage as I do my little videos. For people to get, little bits and bobs, and maybe they'll catch the bug and want to study it a bit more. So anyway, I keep saying back to that new moon. A new moon, it's always synonymous with a new beginning. And in this case, we've got the sun and the moon who've come together. Okay, the sun is behind the moon, obviously, because the sun's a lot further away from us than the moon, and it's shining on the back of the moon, and we can't see any light here at all. It's dark. So we're in the dark stage of the moon now as I speak. 3 days before and 3 days after the new moon peaks are very potent times, and we feel the energy of this lunation, as we call it, mostly. So it's about light and dark, the feminine, which is the moon, and the masculine, which is the sun. The moon is synonymous with the mother in the birth chart, and the sun is synonymous with the father in the birth chart. Indeed, we can get information about mum and dad in our own birth chart. And it's about the yin and the yang. And the sun and moon come together at a new moon to start a new cycle, which of course goes round in the month back 2 weeks' time to a full moon, and then 2 weeks further on from that we go back to another new moon. It's very much a time to manifest a new moon, because it's a new beginning, and it's like that little seed that's been sown. that needs to be nurtured and watered and looked after in order for it to grow and develop into something that you want, that you cherish. It's also a time that is very potent for making a wish list. Perhaps a lot of people of you are doing that already or know about that. Excuse me while I have a sip of water. Yes, a wish list. Get a piece of paper and write down what you'd like to manifest in the coming month, and really intend it. Really feel it, and put it away somewhere safely. And you can take a look at it when we get to the full moon, because everything comes into full light. Because you see, as from the sort of kind of the third day after this new moon, I'm back now here again now at the new moon, we start to see a slight slither in the skies of the moon as it starts to grow in light, bigger and bigger and bigger as we go along the days. So if you know your charts, that's fabulous. You can look and see the position that where the 14 degrees of Virgo falls in your chart, and you can see what house it falls in. So you've got a bit of extra information, but we don't need to know that in order to get a heck of a lot of info about this new moon. Right, so working on the basis that you don't know your own chart, this can work for everybody. I've got a list of things here that I've written down as potentials that we might want to manifest and bring into being at this time of Virgo, the harvest, etc., end of the summer. And maybe one or two of the suggestions kind of stimulate your thought processes, and you think, aha, that's what I need to do. Or I've been thinking about that, but think, oh, I don't want to be doing it. But those are the ones we need to be doing now, the ones that we, keep putting at the back of the list. So Virgo, it's a sign of work and service, helpfulness. So where or how might we be wanting to be of service? Maybe caring for others. Maybe we want to start a new business, birth a new business. Don't forget, the new moon's about a new birth. A new business that is a service industry. Why not? Virgo is also a sign that is attributed to all things around health and well-being in order to function properly. Virgos like everything to be in order and well organised so that they can work to their optimum and not feeling, under par. So they're very interested in health and well-being. So maybe it's time now to start a new health regime. Perhaps you're planning to join a gym, or join a dance class, or learn a martial art. Health is also about healthful eating, of course, and good nutritional habits. Daily habits is a big thing with Virgo. Very much its territory. Being efficient, using your time optimally. Also, time to change a habit and start afresh. Again, under Virgo, under its domain. I'm just going to turn over with my notes and see what else I've got for you. Oh yes, this is a biggie. Perhaps it's time to give something up. That nightly glass of wine. I mean, not forever. We're not going to frighten ourselves, but maybe for the time being while we get ourselves a bit more healthy. Perhaps you're going to decide to wake up each morning a little bit earlier and start meditating. Always very, very good for our health. And, before we go to work or we do our chores. Chores, that's a good Virgo word. Virgo, the busy bee. And talking about chores again, maybe it's time for an autumn spring clean or redecorate. Okay, we're going into autumn here in the UK. Elsewhere you're going to be going into the spring, you lucky things. But so you can do a spring clean, but we can do an autumn spring clean. And the biggie, decluttering. That's a really good Virgoan trait. Well, it's not a trait actually, it's a very good thing to do, but it's something that a lot of us, I'm holding my hand up here, put off and put off. But it's a really good time now at a Virgo new moon to get rid of all those things in the cupboard, under the sofa, behind the sofa, wherever we bung it all. And it was still there last year, and it was the year before. Anything that's outlived its usefulness, it's past its sell-by date, for us particularly, give it out. Give it to someone else who'd probably absolutely love it. So, decluttering. Yeah, nutrition. Astrologers attribute certain parts of the body to each sign. And with Virgo, it is associated with the intestines and the gut. So gut health is very, very important, especially if you are a Virgo or you have lots of strong Virgoan energy in your chart, which would mean, oh gosh, you've got Virgo rising. Your rising sign, your ascending sign, I don't know whether you guys have heard of that, or whether you've got your moon in Virgo, very important, because the moon's very, very associated with our personal physical bodies. Or you've got your sun next to one of the angles in the chart, which kind of bring a lot more power to the sun or whatever it is that's there. It's like having it on steroids, if you like. So if you know that you're any of those, if you tick any of those boxes, you may well suffer from jippy tummies, etc., from time to time. So nutrition and gut health is really, really important. So perhaps it's time now to start looking at taking on some new supplements or some different supplements. I highly recommend someone called Catherine Edwards. Her website is Catherine Edwards, all one word, .live, and she has some very good supplements on there, because she's very hot, like myself, on gut health, because it affects so much else. We don't really feel that well if our gut is out of kilter. Okay, perhaps it's time to do a detox. Oh gosh, it's hard work that, isn't it? But there are detoxes that are less punishing than others, of course. But this is, again, an optimum time for doing something like that and starting a more healthful way of eating. So really we're going back to the gut health again, but, fresh food, loads of veg, cut out the meat, cut out anything in packaging, anything that's going to irritate the gut. We're all much more sensitive now than we ever have been, because the energies are rising on this planet. Whether you like it or not, it's happening and will go on happening in intensity. And our physical bodies are getting more and more sensitive and less tolerant to food, etc. But that's another video. Okay, so moving on to the fact that Virgo seeks useful information. So it could be about you maybe want to start and learn something. You might want to enroll on a course. Is there something that you've been meaning to do for a while? It's still, I think, probably there's still time, especially in the UK, to enroll on a course. I think they're all starting now, but some of them start later in September. Why not? Virgo loves gathering information, but for a useful purpose, not just for information's sake, but for a use, put it to use. Maybe you want to learn Italian. Maybe you want to spend more of your holidays out in Italy, or maybe there are lots of foraging courses at the moment. That seems very Virgoan to me, rooting around in the in the hedgerow and the woodland and finding all sorts of useful herbs and nutritional things to eat and cook with, etc. Fab. Maybe you've always wanted to learn a complementary therapy. Maybe you're thinking about, and you've been thinking about for some while, that you're really fed up to the back teeth with the job you're in and not getting that promotion you wanted, or being continually pushed around by a particular manager who seems to be blocking your path. All sorts of shenanigans go on. I've heard it all. You keep thinking, gosh, I really would love to be a... Now's the time to start the course and start preparing yourself to transition and change into a new career. Don't frighten yourself at some stage, but just start the ball rolling. If you put your foot forward, the universe sees you and brings situations forward to help. So, yeah, just a thought there. And then, of course, there's always Reiki. I love Reiki, being a Reiki master. That's a lovely one to learn. You just got to Google it again and find a local teacher, a local Reiki master, whatever. So there are all sorts here of possibilities that you could possibly, that might stimulate you at the moment to think about what new beginning you might like to take the baton with in this very potent new moon. So I think that's really all I want to say about the new moon. I thought before I started recording that I'd draw a card. I love cards. I do tarot, but I also do any sort of oracle card. I've got loads here. I could start a shop, really. I've been collecting them for 30 years or something. But I was very drawn to pull a card from the Archangel Raphael deck. And he's from the Green Ray. And here I am. I've just realised I'm wearing green today. I hadn't realised that. It wasn't deliberate. And... Yup, he's in charge of healing, health and well-being. Wonder if he's a Virgo, just a thought. It all rather fits in beautifully, doesn't it? And the card that I picked, I asked him what we could all do with knowing. And I got this beautiful one. Ask your body for a message. Isn't that lovely? If anybody wants to get their phone out now and take a quick pic of that so that they could ponder on that, daydream on that, give it some more thought. It's so beautiful, isn't it? With the lovely unicorn there and Archangel Raphael with his divine wingspan. And of course, look at that lovely rainbow. So beautiful. Yes, dear body, please help me hear your messages. Archangel Raphael, please guide me in honouring and respecting my body's needs. Well, I mean, you can't make this stuff up, can you? I mean, hello. It's exactly what I've been talking to you about. Doing all sorts of things that can make you feel better and healthier and well and focused and feel as if you're getting on with your life, doing something anew, manifesting something new. But if you're one of the ones who has decided to take up meditating or do some more meditating, we often let it slip, don't we? Do ask your body. It's an intelligent entity, your body. It will give you answers. You can check in, sit quietly, sit down, do some breathing, concentrate on your breath and quieten your mind. And take your focus to your body and ask your body, what is it that I need to know now? Beautiful. And remember, you don't always get an immediate answer. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get it a couple of days later and something's written on the side of a van as you're driving down the road. You think, oh my God. Or something said on television, or you read something and you think, oh, that's what I need to know. You'll know when you see it or hear it. Or, as I say, you might just get an immediate answer, which is lovely. And neither one's better than the other. It's just how it is. So there's that. I thought oh yes, I shall finish off with a lovely saying. Back in the 80s, I, like many people, really got into the wonderful American authoress, healer, Louise Hay. She's passed now, but somehow I feel her around me a great deal still. And I've done full circle and come back to her again. And I bought myself this beautiful book called Trust Life some while ago. And it has on it, there's every day of the year. And on each day of the year, there's a saying or a bit of advice or some affirmations or something. So I'm going to read the one for today, which again, it's amazing how it all works, isn't it? It rather fits in with what we're talking about today. But before I read this, anybody interested, it's Love Yourself Every Day with Wisdom. So if anybody wants to get their phone again and take a pic, I really recommend it. It's lovely. Just centers you every morning. Gives you something to, yes, maybe I need to start working on that today. But before I read that, so I'm going to check in with you guys again, I think next Sunday actually, which is the first quarter moon from this new moon. So about 7 days after a new moon, she's grown sufficiently and she gets to the first quarter, which is 90 degrees on. You've got the circle of 360, yeah? So she goes to her first quarter, which is 90 degrees away from where she started. Okay. And this is the time where often we're kind of challenged a bit. Okay, did we decide that we were going to give up wine for a bit, a little glass of wine every evening? It might be at that stage, I don't want to put ideas in your head, but it might be at that, something happens, say, next weekend, and you go, no, that's it, I'm having a drink, I'm having a glass, or, something comes along to test your resolve. It's the first challenge of the cycle. It doesn't have to be anything awful, certainly not. But it just like, hello, a little bit of a knock. Are you concentrating? Are you sticking to this? Which is very Virgoan, isn't it? Sticking to something. So I'm going to check in with you guys in a week. If you've liked this video, please click like. And do subscribe so that you can pick me up on my next video, the next stage of our story of the moon cycle. And share, of course. It'd be lovely if you could share it with your friends and family. The more we have on board, the better. The more the merrier, as they say. But also do write me messages as you go through the week underneath this video, because let me know how you're getting on, because I'll check it out before I do the next little recording. Be rather fun, just to sort of monitor. So my lovelies, thank you for listening, and I really enjoyed doing this. I was a bit clunky to begin with. Well, it's a bit nerve-wracking when you first start doing something on your own, but hey-ho. And I look forward to seeing you again and hearing from you. And I'm going to finish, as I say, with September the 5th, Louise Hay's message. And I'm also going to change my glasses. Don't snicker, please. I need stronger ones to read this. I have several pairs of glasses. My friends tease me mercilessly, but there we are. The heading is, I have all the time in the world. Time is exactly what I make it to be. If I choose to feel rushed, then time speeds up and I do not have enough of it. If I choose to believe, there is always enough time for me to do the things I want to do. Then time slows down and I accomplish what I set out to do. If I find myself stuck in traffic, I immediately affirm that all of us drivers are doing our best to get there as soon as we can. I take a deep breath, bless the other drivers with love, and know that I will make it to my destination at the perfect time. When we can see the perfection of each experience, then we are never rushed or delayed. We are in the right place at the right time. All is well. Namaste, everybody.